Hi, I'm Jennell Evans, co-founder of Strategic Interactions, and I specialize in helping high achievers transform into extraordinary leaders. And in this video, I want to focus on empathy and why empathy is the skill that leaders need today more than ever to succeed. And later in this video, I'm going to share 4 steps that you can take to become a more empathetic leader. As companies reinvent themselves completely in their businesses, from processes, procedures, work arrangements, benefits, and more, employees representing the front line to the C-suite can be challenged to keep their emotions in check with so much change happening all at once. And while it's essential for everyone to be able to manage their emotions, particularly at work, it's even more important for leaders to demonstrate emotional self-control while being socially aware of what their employees, their colleagues, their customers, and business partners are feeling. Social awareness, which is being able to recognize and understand the emotions of others, is one of the 4 core emotional intelligence, or EQ, skills that help leaders excel. Leaders who have high social awareness are more capable of being able to demonstrate empathy quite easily, as a matter of fact. And this is a very, very important EQ strength. Empathy is defined as the capacity or ability to imagine oneself in the situation of another, experiencing the emotions, ideas, or opinions of that person. Also just referred to as stepping into the shoes of someone else and experiencing life from their perspective. There's a lot of research about the importance of empathy. Matter of fact, there was a study done by the global leadership development firm DDI that ranked empathy as the #1 leadership skill. DDI reported that leaders who master empathy perform more than 40% higher in coaching, in engaging others, and decision-making. Leaders who demonstrate empathy show others that they want to listen deeply and so they can accurately hear and understand their spoken words as well as their unspoken thoughts, feelings, and concerns. Such leaders show that they genuinely care when they ask other people, "How are you doing?" Because they really want to know how they can help you succeed. Leaders who show empathy also experience a positive impact on their own productivity and, of course, career opportunities. There was another study done by the Center for Creative Leadership, CCL, that involved 6,731 leaders from 38 countries. That study revealed empathy is positively related to job performance. The study concluded that leaders who show more empathy towards direct reports were viewed as better performers by their bosses. Leaders who are identified by their bosses and their employers as high performers receive higher compensation. They get more opportunities to advance their careers. So you can see empathy is not only important in our relationships and how well we manage those with others, but it's also important to our own productivity and our own career opportunities. Some people are born or nurtured to be more empathetic than others, but the good news is everyone can develop their ability to be more empathetic. So I'm going to share with you 4 steps that you can take to become a more empathetic leader. #1, choose to think and act like someone who is high in empathy. So you may know someone, a mentor, a coworker, a boss, someone that you've observed show empathy towards others with ease. So notice what they do. Make notes as to how they behave in situations where empathy is an appropriate skill to use. Model that person's behaviors in ways that align with your personality and style. And if appropriate and available, ask the person, what did they do to develop what you see as such a high level of empathy? #2, listen more than you talk. When someone is sharing information with you, whether it's highly emotional or not, listen carefully for what is said and also what is not being said in the conversation. You want to look for congruency between a person's words and their nonverbal behaviors. If congruency is lacking, then take time to inquire again about how they really are doing. Because taking time to do this really shows that you care about the person, and that alone could help create an opportunity for you to then provide the exact kind of support that they are needing. Sometimes people are shy about asking for help. So just taking that extra time can make a big difference. Number 3, explore professional EQ training and resources at work. You know, there are lots of companies that provide EQ programs to leaders and all kinds of levels in an organization. Programs that are focused on developing empathy and all of the other 11 emotional intelligence or EQ strengths. Sometimes companies will offer training in other formats, such as videos or webinars. And those can certainly increase your knowledge about empathy and how to show it. So what I would like to suggest, though, is if you have those kinds of resources, they'll certainly increase your awareness as well as reading books. However, you want to look for those videos, books, and webinars that include some type of exercises that you can then integrate what you're learning and apply it to your real world. One book that I recommend that does include such exercises is Emotional Intelligence 2.0 by Dr. Travis Bradberry. I think for each of the 12 EQ competencies, it has exercises. And if you do an assessment that they offer on their website, you can actually get even more information, even movies that show empathy in action. And I have no business interest in that company, but I have used their materials and they're very, very good. Last but not least, number 4, hire an EQ coach to help you develop your level of empathy and all kinds of emotional intelligence skills. There are millions of leadership coaches around the world, but I highly recommend that you work with one that is trained in EQ, because that's your focus in this particular type of development journey. And that will help fast track that development for you so that you can become a more empathetic leader faster, more effectively, and also learn a lot of the other EQ skills as well. Working one-on-one with an EQ coach will give you that opportunity to have some type of experiential learning transfer beyond knowledge, beyond awareness, right? Because that coach can help relate everything to your real world at work and at home. You can also get immediate feedback from a coach if you're doing some type of role play about how you do show up in situations that you may be practicing actually showing empathy. Also, you can get feedback for how to improve in those areas. The other great advantage of working with an EQ trained coach is that you have accountability naturally built into your coaching agreement. So that's going to help advance your EQ development faster as well, because knowing that you want to say, for example, become a more empathetic leader is different from actually then committing to do the work on your own and doing what you need to do to transform over time to become a more empathetic leader. So knowing doesn't naturally, that you want to do it doesn't naturally make you one, right? You've got to do some work, and a coach can really help you do that. I am certified to teach people how to develop a deeper level of empathy and all of the emotional intelligence strengths. There are 12 in total, but empathy is certainly a dominant one, and one that I think every leader needs to have. Sometimes people, depending on their job, in the 12 competencies, some may be more relevant than others. They're all important, but empathy is one that I think translates in many different leadership roles. So having a high EQ, being able to demonstrate empathy as one example, is a real mark of distinction. And it's one that is evident in those leaders that we all consider to be extraordinary, inspiring, and leaders that we want to truly follow. So if you'd like to know more about how I help leaders make this kind of transformation and develop their emotional intelligence, their EQ, please reach out to me in whatever format you're watching this video, whether it's on YouTube or LinkedIn. There will be a link in the description for how to reach out to me. And I invite you to do that. We can set up a short 15-minute call, and I can tell you more about how I've helped other leaders do exactly what I'm talking about in this video. Together, we can decide if I can help you or point you in a different direction on your leadership journey. Take care.